Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we re-diving into one of the most critical and heartbreaking crises unfolding in the world right now. The ongoing conflict in Sudan between the Sudanese Armed Forces, often referred to as SAF, and the Rapid Support Forces, known as the RSF. This war has captured global attention because of its devastating impact on civilians, its complex political roots, and its uncertain future. In this video, we'll break down how this conflict began, what the current situation looks like, and what it means for the people caught in the crossfire. To understand the current situation, we need to go back to the origins of this conflict. Sudan has been struggling with political instability for decades. After the major uprising in 2019 that overthrew longtime dictator Omar al-Bashir, Sudan hoped for a smooth transition into a civilian-led democracy. But peace did not last long. Power struggles soon emerged between Sudan's military leaders and powerful paramilitary groups. The SAF represents the country's national army, while the RSF evolved from the notorious Janjaweed militias, which had been previously involved in the conflict in Darfur. Over time, the RSF gained influence, wealth, and modern weapons, eventually becoming a serious rival to the army. The spark that ignited this war happened in April 2023, when tensions over integrating the RSF into the national forces burst into violence. Cities quickly turned into battlegrounds, and what many hoped would be a short political clash became a full-scale war. The conflict is not just about power, it's about territory, resources, and political control. The capital city, Khartoum, became ground zero, with entire neighborhoods turned to rubble. Both sides claim legitimacy, presenting themselves as the true protector of Sudan's sovereignty. International organizations, however, have repeatedly accused both sides of targeting civilians and committing human rights abuses. As the fighting continued, it spread beyond Khartoum into Darfur, Kordofan, and other regions, turning the conflict into a nationwide disaster. The longer the war lasts, the deeper the wounds become, and the harder it is to imagine a peaceful future. One of the most devastating consequences of this war is the humanitarian crisis it has created. Millions of people have been forced to flee their homes. Families have been separated, and children are growing up knowing only the sound of gunfire and fear. Hospitals have collapsed due to bombings, medical supplies have run out, and doctors are working without proper equipment. Many civilians have no access to clean water, electricity, or food. Aid organizations have described the situation as one of the worst humanitarian disasters in recent history. Hunger is spreading quickly, with some regions facing famine-like conditions. The suffering is immense, and yet the world's attention often drifts elsewhere. On the political side, mediation attempts have been made, but progress has been painfully slow. Neighboring countries, the African Union, and the United Nations have all called for ceasefires, but most agreements collapse within hours. Trust between SAF and RSF is broken, and each side believes victory on the battlefield may be their only chance to maintain power. This mindset has turned Sudan into a chessboard where human lives are sacrificed daily. Diplomatic pressure has increased, and sanctions have been introduced to try to force negotiations. However, neither side seems willing to compromise. As a result, the suffering continues, and stability remains out of reach. Economically, Sudan is collapsing. Businesses have shut down, banks are barely functioning, and inflation is skyrocketing. Many families are unable to afford basic necessities. Entire industries have been destroyed, and agricultural lands have become war zones. The war has also disrupted supply routes, making it harder to deliver aid. For ordinary Sudanese citizens, every day is a struggle for survival. Those who manage to flee to neighboring countries often find themselves living as refugees in overcrowded camps, uncertain if they'll ever return home. Education is also suffering, as schools remain closed, depriving an entire generation of their future. Another major issue in this crisis is the growing ethnic tension, especially in regions like Darfur. Reports suggest that ethnic-based violence has increased dramatically. Civilians have been targeted not just because of their location, but because of their identity. These acts risk repeating the dark history that once led to international prosecutions. As long as these tensions continue, reconciliation becomes even harder. Peace is not just about stopping the guns, it's also about rebuilding trust, healing communities, and ensuring justice. Despite the darkness, Sudanese civilians continue to demonstrate remarkable strength. Volunteers have formed emergency response groups to help those in need. Communities are sharing food, shelter, and information. Doctors, teachers, and activists are risking their lives to protect their people. Their courage reminds us that Sudan is more than just a war zone. It's a nation of resilient individuals who refuse to give up hope. The international community's response has been mixed. While some countries have condemned the violence and offered aid, critics argue that global powers have not done enough. Political interests often influence diplomatic actions, and Sudan does not always receive the attention it desperately needs. The lack of consistent media coverage has made it easier for the conflict to continue in the shadows. Many activists and journalists are calling on the world to speak louder, pressure leaders, and provide real support. If the silence continues, the consequences could affect generations to come. As we look at the latest developments, the conflict remains complex and unpredictable. The RSF has gained control over large parts of Darfur and continues to push into new territories. Meanwhile, the SAF focuses on defending key regions and trying to regroup. New alliances are forming, both inside and outside Sudan. There are concerns that the war could spill into neighboring countries, creating a regional crisis. Weapons are flowing into Sudan from multiple sources, making the fighting even more intense. The fear of a larger, more violent conflict is growing, and international observers warn that time is running out. What will the future look like for Sudan? The answer is unclear. A long-lasting peace agreement would require political reforms, accountability for war crimes, disarmament, and inclusive leadership. These are not easy goals. However, without them, Sudan risks falling into a cycle of endless conflict. Countries that have experienced similar wars show that rebuilding is possible, but only with commitment and unity. Sudan's youth, who have been a powerful voice for democracy, will play a crucial role in shaping whatever comes next. Their determination could become the foundation for a brighter future. In the end, this conflict is not just about power struggles between armed groups. It's a crisis that is stealing lives, destroying dreams, and tearing apart a nation with rich history and culture. As global citizens, it's important to stay informed, raise awareness, and support humanitarian efforts. The people of Sudan deserve peace, justice, and the chance to rebuild their country. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video informative, please share it to help spread awareness. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more updates on global issues. Stay safe, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next video.